He was scared. He knew afterwards that those are angels who came to give him glad tidings. Now, at that moment, his wife appeared. And they gave her the good news of having a son. She said, يا ويلتا أألد وأنا عجوز? Shall I beget? Shall I deliver children while I am old? وهذا بعلي شيخا, and this husband of mine is also too old? They said, أتعجبين من أمر الله? Are you amazed of the decree of Allah? رحمة الله وبركاته عليكم أهل البيت. May the mercy and the blessings of Allah be upon you, أهل البيت. Now the angels are addressing who? The wife of Ibrahim. It's very clear. The Quran is the judge. See, now you see and hear. At the day of judgment, you're going to be responsible for what you hear and see today. It's the Quran. Third verse. The mother of Musa, her son had been taken by Allah's care to the house of Pharaoh. To the house of Pharaoh. And Allah does the job. Alhamdulillah. Now, Musa is hungry. And the wife of Pharaoh loved Musa. She brought all those suckling milk women, to give him milk. But the divine command was, decline. Oh Musa, decline. He's hungry. Allah controls everything. So Musa was refusing. As his sister was spying, standing from far, observing her brother, she immediately interfered and said, shall I guide you, direct you to an AHLUL BAYT, who will care for him, to you, and they are to him for his upbringing sincere. Thus we restored him to his mother. So that means, when his sister said AHLUL BAYT, she was talking about the household of Musa. And Allah restored Musa to AHLUL BAYT. Who were AHLUL BAYT? His mother. 3 times the word AHLUL BAYT is mentioned in the Quran, and 3 times was talking about the household, the wife. Some other verses we can find Ahl, but not AHLUL BAYT, which is the same. As you will see, for example, the 4th ayah, we will save you and your family except your wife. You and your family except your wife. Why? She was a disbeliever. So if she was a believer, the word family would have been including her. But as she was a disbeliever, she was exempted from those who will be saved of his family. 5th verse, I don't see it. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah, Musa. Musa said to his wife, the Quran says he said to his family, stay here until I go and find, because he saw a fire and he wanted to see if there's something to eat. So he said to and the Shia scholars, they said, he said to his family, stay here. That means he said to his wife. So the word AHLUL BAYT is used in the Quran for that purpose. The last verse, you know what happened between Yusuf and the wife of the king? She was attracted to him, she wanted him, he was running away from her, and she was catching him from the back of his shirt. And as he was running to the door, both are rushing to the door. She wanted him, and he wanted the door. He opened the door, and suddenly her husband was on the door. Immediately, you know, women are good in plotting. Sorry, don't be upset with me. She immediately changed the behavior. She said, what is the punishment of those who intend evil against your family? but they should be imprisoned or they should be painfully punished. Your family, she mentioned the word family, and that means herself. So as you can see, this is from the Quran, and as I said, the one who really glorifies the Quran should be saying, that's enough for me. This is a matter of religion. It is a matter of faith. I should not be hearing and then saying, just like those who used to say, we hear, and we disobey. We hear and we ignore. You know, there are many lively factors that cause the person sometimes to ignore. The truth is shown to him clearly, and yet he says, maybe afterwards I believe in it. Afterwards, not now. Now from the Sunnah, we find, according to the Sunnah, that the family are the wives, the sons, and even the cousins. Narrated by Bukhari that the Prophet used to be passing by the house of Aisha. Every time he enters the house of Aisha, he says, Assalamu alaikum AHLUL BAYT. Bukhari. Now some people say, we don't believe in your Bukhari. Now what did you do with the Quran? Think about it. Don't let shaitan trap you. Also, he was asked, ﷺ, how can we perform our prayer on you, O Prophet, in our prayer? He says, say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Say, O Allah, grant your salah on Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. Now listen here. There's something very important here. The word AHLUL BAYT, Al Muhammad, it means also every true follower of the Prophet Muhammad. Because the word al is it has been used in the Quran as well for those followers of somebody. وَحَاقَ بِآلِ فِرْعَوْنَ سُوءُ الْعَذَابِ. The al of Fir'aun were severely punished. Al Fir'aun. He's not talking about his sons, about the followers of Fir'aun. So nevertheless, here, Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Right after that, in Bukhari as well, in another narration, he says, say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa azwajihi wa dhurriyyatihi. Grant your salah, O Prophet, O Allah, on your, on Muhammad and his wives and his sons. As a result, when Ahl Sunnah acknowledge that the sons of the Prophet are his al, they do not ignore the wives, or the vice versa. When they acknowledge that the wives are the ahl of the Prophet, they do not ignore the sons. They acknowledge both, the wives and the sons. While in the Shi'ites' perspective, no. They acknowledge the sons apart from the wives. And neither the language agree with them, nor the Quran agree with them, nor the Sunnah agree with them. The Prophet ﷺ was saying, "O Allah, let the provision of Al Muhammad be only qut." Qut, that means they don't spare more money, more food. Something that is sufficient for them to eat. This is only for the family of the Prophet. And that is a sign of the Prophet's reliability and credibility, because the Prophet is not allowed to take charity from people. Even his family, they're not allowed to take charity from people. No charity is not allowed. And if the Prophet died, his family are not allowed to inherit him. Any lively thing that the Prophet leaves should be for the poor people in general, not for his family. If the Prophet, in other words, if the Prophet was a liar, why should he declaring to be a prophet? Any false prophet will be declaring prophethood in order to gain some lively benefit. But look here, the Prophet is saying, I'm not, even the Prophet was walking with his son Al-Hasan, grandson. And Al-Hasan went down, he saw a piece of a date, and he took it. Then the Prophet said to him, leave it. it may be from the property of sadaqah, and we